Hello.
Are you going to introduce it?
Yes.
Go on then.
Welcome to the Unconventional Lives of Dan and Anne.
What day is it?
Saturday, I think.
Of the Unconventional Lives. It's
Day three. Day three. Yes.
So I was trying to let him speak there because there was a comment made, and I am conscious of it, that in yesterday's video I was talking over him a little bit. I am conscious of it. It is one of the many imperfections I have. But
You are perfectly imperfect, you know.
Did you know you just spoke over me?
I know, but I just interrupt you briefly. I'm going to let you have you can talk again now.
Okay. I don't know the reason behind this, and I've noticed it with especially the ex-cult women from the cult that I escaped, that we tend to talk over each other. And do you know what I think it is? I think it's because women were so suppressed for so many years, not allowed to speak. We were never allowed to speak in church. We were not allowed to answer our husband's back, certainly not. Certainly weren't allowed to speak over him. And I think that's what's caused it. Now that we're free, we're just like blah, 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 blah. So now I will let Daniel speak.
Oh, I don't know what to say now.
Well, I think we hinted that we might talk about our first date.
Oh, yes, our first date. When was that?
Oh, you ask, am I allowed to speak?
I asked you a question.
Okay, I couldn't tell you the exact date, but it was mid-end September 2018.
And where were we?
I was in a little place called Geraldine, and you were in a little place called Fairlie in New Zealand.
South
Island. And you had only arrived there the week before, I think. He was very quick to go on Tinder. And he also knew he was going home at the end of the season. So I'm not sure what he was looking for, but I don't think it was me.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. I mean, what's Tinder for?
For me, it was all about finding a long-term relationship and finding my perfect man to marry.
Well, you got both.
Of course.
Where
I
is
was
he?
looking for a New Zealander, but I didn't get one of those.
You got a proper Englishman. Yeah. So where did we meet? That first meeting.
Oh, yes. I had to travel about 50 miles, was it?
Well, you chose to.
Well, you didn't offer. He was so busy. He was working. So was I, of course. I was doing childminding and things like that. Anyway, I travelled about, I think it was on a Thursday night, actually, evening. I travelled about 50 miles. Anyway, it took me about an hour on the country roads across New Zealand. And we had arranged to meet in a place called the Red Stag Inn.
Restaurant.
Was it a restaurant?
Yeah. Red Stag.
Red Stag Restaurant. Well, as Dan hadn't been in New Zealand very long, I don't think he got used to the fact that there's not many people in New Zealand. Full stop. And the first thing he said to me was, before we met, how will I recognise you? I had actually got there by the time he sent this message. I sent a message back and said, I'm the only person here. So there wasn't even anybody else for you to flirt with, was there?
Well, there was the Red Stag.
Oh, and there was the waitress.
Well, and the Red Stag was stuffed.
Ha ha. And it was like it was like going back in time, wasn't it? It was one of those flowery carpeted wood panelling restaurants. And there was loads of tables in the restaurant, wasn't there?
There was. It was like a hunting lodge. Which is not surprising. Called the Red Stag.
Yeah. And that is hunting area.
Anyway, did you have a fun time?
Oh, I did. You see, then, I hadn't heard all the dad jokes that he told. I heard dad jokes over the years, but not the ones that Dan told. And so I laughed at them.
Yeah, and didn't they offer us Brussels sprouts? Because what's the difference between Brussels sprouts and snot? Children don't eat Brussels sprouts.
Ha ha. You see, those were the sort of jokes that happened on our first date, and I thought that was hilarious. Do you notice I don't laugh anymore?
I do.
Because I've heard them so many times that I don't actually find them that funny. I think it's time. Can please our audience come up with some new dad jokes for Dan?
Well, I look forward to hearing from comments in the posts.
But as I say, I don't need to tell dad jokes to be funny because I'm just funny.
Okay. Well, talk about funny. We've now spoken for over 5 minutes, and I think that's too long.
Oh, that's because I wasn't talking over the top of you. I was giving you time to speak. If you just let me keep talking, we would have done it in about 3 minutes.
Okay.
So anyway, we met there, and it was a very fun evening. And I'll just have to tell you this little bit. I'm sure you'll watch till the end because you want to hear this little bit, right? So he said, "Oh, would you like to come back to mine for a cup of tea?" And he brought me back to this. He was living in this little shack. And we went back there for a cup of tea. He didn't even get the kettle on, from what I remember. And all he had to offer anyway was decaf tea.
I only ever drink decaf tea and beer and wine.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave the rest to your imagination. We had a lovely evening. So there you go. That was our first date.
Right. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. It won't take up any more time.
Day 4.
Thanks for watching to the end. So exciting. And I just spoke over you because we have to finish this off and you're very slow.
And I was just saying, see you on day 4 of the Unconventional Lives of Dan and Anne.
You nearly said Anne and Dan.
I did. Goodbye.
Bye.